Hey guys, I'm FatBuddyCat, and this is my new Coleman mini bike. Today, we're going to be installing a 14cc head. This is an aftermarket GX160 job. They are commonly used on 196s and GX200s to boost compression. The 14cc GX160 head has the same size valves as the 196 clone GX200 head. The only difference is the chamber on this is 14 cc's, and the one that is currently on this engine is between 18 and 20. This already has stainless steel valves, billet retainers, and 18-pound springs installed. I had this on a 196 with the governor removed. I want to see what it does with the governor intact. I'm going to have to remove the air box, the carburetor, the exhaust. I want to tighten the pulley, or at least the driver. I want to check to make sure it's still tight. I'm probably going to have to remove the pulley to get to the sheet metal bolts that are going to be over there. We'll kind of go step by step, and I'll try to make this as easy as possible. First thing coming off, air box and carb. If you didn't know, now you do. The choke lever has a little cylindrical piton piece on the end of it that's just kind of hanging out in no man's land. That is designed to be stuffed into your fuel line. That way you can remove the carburetor, pull all these goodies off, and not have to worry about your gas leaking all over the place. There's two bolts that hold the stock throttle linkage in place. One of them is casted on the head, the other on the block of the engine above the cylinder. I just removed the bolt that's attached to the head, and I'm going to loosen the other. That will allow this to pivot a little freely. I'm not going to remove my throttle rod. If I did, it would pivot more. I just really need it to be off of the head so I can remove it, get the other one back in there, and put everything back together again. I'm also loosening this one bolt on the bottom left corner of my fan shroud. That one is attached to this piece of sheet metal that goes underneath the head. It's going to be attached to the head in two places. When we take those bolts out, this will keep it from falling out of place, but it'll also allow it to move freely. Couple 13mm nuts hold the muffler on. We get that out of the way. Next is going to be the torque converter cover. I think it's just 3 bolts, one on the front, one on the top, and one down bottom. Depending how tight your wrench game is, you can get up behind this pulley and sort of cheat the system. This is a threaded shaft. I don't feel like taking that cover off and putting a wrench or something to it to hold it while I spin this side. So my offset 10mm was able to get back in here and it got the job done. I'll nab this bolt, and the other one is kind of hard for you to see. It's right there. It's just over the jack shaft. That's got to come out. I don't know. Yeah, I think you can see it a little better down there. Alright? Not that hard. We're now free of the sheet metal. It's still connected at the fan shroud to the block, so we can't lose it. It's just going to hang out there while we remove the valve cover. There's 4 bolts that hold the head on. 1, 2, and 3 and 4 are underneath. I use a 12mm socket on a short extension to get these bolts. They're all loosened up. This head is ready to come off. Another thing we're going to want to pay attention to is the direction that this little lobe is going in. That is the mount for the torque converter cover. So it has to be going in the same direction. Looks like they just have it going up this way with the head. It's parallel with the cylinder. So we won't forget that after we get to putting things back where they belong. I have both my dowels and a brand new head gasket in place. That's the same 10,000th job that was on there from the factory. I took a look at the push rods. These are 5270. Well, close to 5270 anyway. My GX200 stainless steel push rods are closer to the 5260 range. Without removing the side cover and knowing what's going on with the lifters, I'm just going to keep these stock push rods that came in this Tau 196. Don't worry, I'm cleaning everything up. I'm not using those. That's why they're up there. I'm not going to put these in yet. I'm going to lower the head on, and I'm going to be torquing it between 18 to 20 foot-pounds using the stock bolts. I'm actually probably just going to go with 19, and I'll put a little bit of red Loctite on the last few threads. Not all of them. Just like the last 1/4 inch. I'm all torqued up. I just backed off the adjusters on my rockers. That's going to help me in placing my push rods. I'll lift the rocker up out of the way, lower the push rod down, place the rocker where it's supposed to be. I'll hold it with one hand, making sure that the lash cap is under the top side and the push rod is under the bottom. While I'm holding it with that hand, I'll reach around with the other and tighten the nut. Just enough so that it can't come out. You still have to set the lash and everything, so we don't want to be completely tight to the lash cap. I'm going to switch to the stainless steel GX200 length push rods, the 5260-ish ones. The 5270s look okay, but I could use a little more action on the lock nut. I'm not completely lashed, but pretty close. I'll swap them out and see if it makes a difference. And they actually look just about the same. I didn't really gain anything on the end. Maybe just a little tiny bit over on the intake side. Like a quarter of a thread maybe. Yeah, buddy. I'll leave those stainless steel ones in there. I'll make sure I'm at top dead center, and I'm gonna lash this out at 0.002. Usually you go 0.003 for a stock motor. On my performance motors I go 0.0015. I'm going to use the same feeler gauge on the intake as I use on the exhaust. The only difference is I'm going to hug the exhaust and I'll just kiss the intake. So I'll be a little bit more snug on the same feeler gauge exhaust side. I got it. It's probably really hard to see. There it is, sort of. Anyways, I'm not exactly ripping myself off by leaving the intake a little bit looser, since I'm going tighter than the factory spec in the first place. Keeping the exhaust side a little more snug is just going to help promote an easier start when things heat up. It helps with the decompression. From here on out, it's just going to be throwing parts back on. I got a new gasket for the valve cover. I'll have a new one for the exhaust. Put the... Oh yeah, I wanted to check the torque on this driver. Right there, that bolt. I like to see 20 foot-pounds. I'll get my valve cover and exhaust on, and then the carburetor, the air box. I'll leave this cover off, and then I'll be removing the pull starter. That way, dang it, I can access the flywheel nut. I can hold on to that and then get my torque wrench set up on this side. The factory flywheel torque should be tighter than the torque that I'm setting here, so it's not going to have an effect on that. Before you put your valve cover on with your fresh gasket, feel free to squirt a little bit of 10W30, whatever oil you're using, right over your rockers, retainers, springs, whatever. It'll find its way down into the pot. I'm going to be doing an oil change on this, but not until I start it up. So I want to have a little bit of lubrication up there. What I'm going to do is fire the thing up, let it come up in temperature, and then I'll shut it off, and I'll dump whatever oil is in there now, and I'll put fresh in. Check it out. I have the factory carburetor back on. Same jets. I didn't open it up or anything. It's got the governor hooked up, and I replaced all of the gaskets except for this rather thick one that came with it. This goes between the carb and the stock airbox. I'm going to also reuse the stock spark plug. A ratchet with a short extension and a shallow 19mm socket lines up with the foot peg. I have it set so that it locks against it. I can take my foot-pounds torque wrench with a 1/2-inch socket. I get right on the output shaft bolt. That's it. I think this one was set at 20 from the factory. I got the cover back on the torque converter. All of the tabs lined up, so paying attention worked out. I also put 4 pumps of grease into this fitting on the swing arm. It hasn't started to come out the ends. I'm not sure how much it holds, but at least I know it's got something in there. Now we're going to start it. It's going to warm up, and then I'm going to change the oil. I'm fairly confident that this is going to run. I've done this enough times with these engines. Alright, I got the choke on, the gas on. I'm just giving it a second. It's governed, so I don't think giving it any throttle will help. Okay. Yeah, buddy. Feels like it's going to take right off though when it does engage. Real nice throttle response. That's how the RPMs are up. Just the headlight is getting brighter. It goes down. That'll dim right out. It'll shut off. That's real nice. All bolt on. Give us another minute or so. I'll shut her down and straighten the honey out of the block. Out with the old and in with the new. I have just under 16 ounces of 10W30 and a couple healthy squirts of a good zinc additive. I just blend it together in an empty quart container so I can measure it. Now I'll get it into my engine. Made sure my drain plug was tight, and I have my filler cap ready to go back on. Alright, warm it up for about 5 minutes. Fresh oil. The idle actually seems like it's gone down a little bit, which isn't a bad thing. Still, like, it's not automatically engaging or anything. It's not crazy. It's a little higher than normal. See how it dips down right there? You hear it? Throttle's still right there, though. Definitely pulls better. Definitely an improvement for that stuff, and that's still on the stock V treads. Get an upgrade coming for those. Uphill. Weather or not, we could do it again from a total stop. I'm not sure. Guess we'll find out. Alright. I can still feel the governor engaging. So we're not going like crazy RPM, but what we are doing is supporting the RPM that we do have. More power, more torque, with the same feed. Bam, bam, jam, that's what I'm talking about. Probably not going through that. We'll see. See if we can't. Try to make it out the other side. Around to the field. out here, not so great. That was awesome. we definitely made a gain today. This is the factory head that I just removed, and this is a 14cc unit, very similar to the one that we installed. Stainless valves and all. Side by side, you can see how drastic the difference is in the size of the chambers. You can also see that these stainless valves are flat across instead of dished, so we probably gained a little something there too. The big thing for me is that with these stainless valves, I upgraded to the billet split keeps, and that gets us away from these slip style retainers. We went with 18-pound springs with enough RPM in the right circumstances. Things can vibrate and sometimes dislodge. When that happens, the valve can drop and then come in contact with the piston. The most important thing that I wanted to figure out today was my maximum RPM running this combination of modifications with this torque converter at full throttle. On that uphill section in the snow, we were just spinning V's, and the old butt tack told me that I was pretty comfortable where we were. I don't think we were pushing this 196 too far, and I now think that we can take it a little bit further. I'm going to hit up my friends at ombwarehouse.com and see what they have for a header and jet kit for this thing. While I'm over there, I'm going to see if I can get my hands on a Comet pulley. I already have the Comet 30 series driver, as well as the appropriate belt for this mini bike. So we'll see if that doesn't smooth things out anymore. Have a good night, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.